Things are finally beginning to simmer down a little bit. But even with that said, the future is still very unclear for the rest of the season.
I'm here to tell you, from my heart and my cowboy-loving soul, my Cowboys are officially in trouble.
The calendar is now flipped to December, and only 6 weeks remain in the 2021 regular season schedule. With 12 weeks in the books now, here is how all 32 teams stack up heading into December. Number 32, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 32. At this point, it seems like the 2021 Lions are destined to not win a single game this year. That was a gut-wrenching loss to the Chicago Bears on Thanksgiving Day. The good news, with the New York Jets winning this week, the Lions are starting to build up a comfortable lead for the first overall pick. Number 31, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 30. There were some positives in the Jaguars' 21-14 home loss to the Atlanta Falcons. They held this prolific offense to just 21 points, and the ground game picked up 141 yards. And hey, let's be real, Jaguars fans, a loss is better for the franchise at this stage. Don't you want a top 2 selection? Because it's starting to look more and more likely that you'll get one. Number 30, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 29. Tyrod Taylor's return has given this helpless offense some form of life, but he doesn't have a whole lot to work with. The Texans fell to an equally hapless Jets team on Sunday afternoon. This team is still what we thought they were. Terrible. Number 29, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 31. Zach Wilson's return wasn't exactly pretty, but the Jets' rushing game picked up the slack with 157 yards and 2 scores. Not that beating the Texans counts for much, but Robert Saleh has to be pleased with his group tuning in their best defensive performance of the season. Number 28, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 25. Russell Wilson may be healthy enough to play, but he's clearly not healthy enough to effectively lead an offense and win games. He's looked awful since returning from his finger injury, and Monday night's performance was no different. It's almost as if he already has 1 foot out of the door in Seattle. Number 27, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 28. What a week for the Falcons. Their win, combined with the losses of the Vikings and Saints, has Arthur Smith's club tied for the final playoff spot in the wide-open NFC. The offense certainly has some pop when Cordarrelle Patterson is in the lineup, but we're still having a hard time believing these guys are a legit playoff contender. Number 26, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 26. Matt Nagy's squad barely got past a winless Detroit team, but as we always say, a win's a win. This has been a painfully sluggish season for Chicago, but you can't complain about a Thanksgiving Day victory over a division rival. They needed that W, because the schedule does not get any easier with the Cardinals and Packers up next. Number 25, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 24. That big-time home win over the Bucs on Halloween feels like a lifetime ago. The Saints have lost 4 straight since that game, all with Trevor Siemian as their starting quarterback. Even with Taysom Hill expected to take over under center in Week 13, it's looking like it'll be too little too late. We hate doubting Sean Payton, but why didn't the team make this move earlier? Number 24, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 20. Well, so much for Cam Newton's return reigniting the Panthers. 2 straight L's now, both coming against teams with losing records. They're still barely alive for the final wildcard spot in the NFC, but we wouldn't hold our breath with the way this offense is functioning, especially with Christian McCaffrey now ruled out for the season. Number 23, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 27. The Giants' offense didn't look much better without Jason Garrett around to spoil things. But Patrick Graham's defense flexed its muscles and held off a red-hot Eagles team for a 13-7 win. The G-men picked off Jalen Hurts 3 times, and he was limited to 14 completions on 31 attempts for 129 yards. Games like this, folks, are why some believe Graham is an enticing head coach candidate to keep an eye on the next offseason. Number 22, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 18. A disappointing loss all around for the Eagles, who wasted a prime opportunity to move up into the NFC's final wildcard spot. Lucky for them, their schedule is still quite friendly the rest of the way, so their season's not quite done just yet. But man, they just can't afford to let opportunities like this get away from them. Number 21, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 22. Don't look now, but the Finns have won 4 straight and suddenly find themselves back in the AFC playoff race. And it's thanks in large part to their defense, which has held opponents to 17 points or less during their current winning streak. The Giants, Jets, and Saints are next on Miami's schedule, which has us believing that another late-season playoff push may very well be in the cards for Brian Flores' team. Number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 14. Stick a fork in them, these Steelers are done. They have now lost consecutive games after barely salvaging a tie against the winless Lions at home. Hard to see Pittsburgh outlasting the other playoff contenders in the AFC based on what we've seen from them on both sides of the ball over the past month or so. Number 19, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 16. Here's another AFC North club that appears to be headed for a lost season. Cleveland's defense showed up on Sunday night in Baltimore, but where the heck was the offense? There's no questioning Baker Mayfield's heart, but let's be honest, the decision to have him play through all those ailments only seems to be hurting the offense and the team as a whole. At this point, you'd have to think they'd be better off going with a healthy Case Keenum under center. Number 18, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 15. That was a tough road loss for the Vikings in San Francisco, but it's still too early to shut the door on these guys. Minnesota is still in a good position to claim one of the 3 NFC wildcard spots, especially with the Lions and 2 games against the Bears still on tap. Number 17, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 21. The hot and cold Broncos tuned in a remarkable defensive effort against the Los Angeles Chargers, holding Justin Herbert and company to 13 points in a crucial home win. The defense, which is doing just fine without Von Miller by the way, and the ground game continue to carry Vic Fangio's group. At 6-5, Denver is right in the thick of the crowded AFC wildcard race. Number 16, Washington Football Team. Last time's ranking, 19. Ron Rivera's club had an opportunity to extend their winning streak to 3 games on Monday night against a very beatable Seahawks team. And, well, yeah, they got the job done. Suddenly, they're right back in the playoff picture, sitting in the NFC's final wildcard spot with a 5-6 record. Don't expect them to make the playoffs with a losing record for the 2nd straight season, but if they keep reeling off wins like this, they won't need to. Number 15, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 13. What an absolute letdown for the Colts. The defense had a near-perfect first quarter against Tom Brady. Carson Wentz threw for over 300 yards. The ground game had over 100 yards against the league's top run defense. And yet, the Colts still lost. 3 fumbles and 2 interceptions led to Indy's latest collapse. A theme that's becoming way too common for Frank Reich's group. They have now squandered games against the Bucs, Ravens, and Titans. And to think, they're just a few bounces away from being the top seed in the AFC at 9-3. Number 14, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 23. It's a huge jump and a warranted one at that. What a statement win that was for the Raiders in Dallas. Derek Carr had his 6th 300-yard outing of the season, and it couldn't have come at a better time. He outplayed MVP candidate Dak Prescott on Thanksgiving Day and saved the Raiders' season, at least for now. Vegas is now 6-5, and aside from a visit to Kansas City in Week 14, their remaining schedule is very manageable. Number 13, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 11. Oh boy, are the Chargers doing it again? The Bolts were no match for a middle-of-the-pack Broncos team in Week 12. As such, they have now lost 4 of their last 6, and they were fortunate to get past the Steelers a week ago. Who's up next for the Chargers? Well, take it away, Belichick.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Number 12, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 9. It is officially panic time. The Rams have lost 3 straight in a row, and Matthew Stafford has thrown 5 picks in those contests while taking 9 sacks. Yes, they're sitting comfortably in a playoff spot, but this was a team that was expected to be untouchable after they acquired Von Miller and Odell Beckham. Instead, well, they've been anything but, as the defense has allowed 95 points during their losing streak, while Miller has been pretty much invisible since coming to LA. Number 11, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 17. A heart-pounding win over Minnesota put the 49ers back above .500 for the first time since Week 3, and Deebo Samuel is asserting himself as one of the best playmakers in the league. Unfortunately, he is set to miss a few games with a groin injury. That's a big loss for the Niners. Do they have the depth to survive? We'll find out when they visit the Seahawks on Sunday night. Number 10. Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 8. At this stage, I advise Cowboys fans to take a deep breath and relax. They probably would have beaten the Chiefs and Raiders if they had Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb. Those 2 losses have dropped Dallas to 7-4. They'll cruise to the NFC East, but they're essentially locked in as the number 4 seed in the conference. It'll be tough for them to catch the other 3 division leaders. So with little to play for down the stretch, why not rest Zeke and let him get healthy for the playoffs? Number 9. Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 6. The Titans put up a second consecutive stinker, this time against the surging Patriots at Gillette Stadium, which is a lot better than losing at home to the Houston Texans. Realistically, expecting this team to win without Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones in the lineup is asking a lot of Mike Vrabel's squad. Number 8. Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 10. The Bengals likely put the dagger in the Steelers' playoff hopes with a 41-10 blowout win to complete the season sweep. Cincy has regained its momentum following a 2-game losing skid, and they remain alive and well in the race for the AFC North Division crown. That said, Cincy's next 5 games are all against teams with winning records. So if Joe Burrow is going to get his first taste of NFL playoffs, he's really gonna have to earn it. Number 7. Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 12. That was a huge bounce-back win for the Bills in New Orleans, an absolute must-have with the Patriots on fire right now. So that sets up a marquee Bills vs. Pats matchup on Monday Night Football, with the winner claiming sole possession of first in the division. When's the last time a Bills-Pats regular season game has had this much on the line? Number 6. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 7. The Bucs overcame a sluggish first half against the Colts and escaped with a win. Leonard Fournette led the way with an impressive 4-touchdown outing. You can start to pencil them in for their first division title since 2007. Number 5. Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 5. That was the definition of an ugly win if we've ever seen one. Lamar Jackson's 4 picks weren't enough to doom the Ravens thanks to a big-time performance from Don Martindale's defense. Cleveland's vaunted rushing game only gained 40 yards on 17 carries, and Baker Mayfield was under duress all game long by the Baltimore pass rush. The Ravens flexed their muscles yet again, and now they sit atop the AFC. Number 4. Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 2. The Chargers' loss to Denver kept the Chiefs alone atop the AFC West, so it was a good bye week for Andy Reid and company. Not only are the Chiefs in good position to claim their 6th straight division title, but they're very much in play for the AFC's top seed. Looking at the rest of their schedule, it's not crazy to think that they could win out. Number 3. Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 4. Following a tough loss in Minnesota, the Pack returned home and dominated a desperate Rams team at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers had another field day against the defense he lit up in last year's divisional round. The Packers' defense continues to dominate. It's hard to find a weak link on this Green Bay team. It's scary to think that they look considerably better than the team that won 13 games and reached the NFC title game a year ago. Number 2. New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 3. Tom Brady who? I kid. Jokes aside, is this New England team scary or what? Mac Jones is getting better every game. The rushing attack is wearing opposing defenses out, and oh, that defense is also pretty good too, allowing a league-low 15.8 points per game. We told you to never question the great Bill Belichick, even without Tom Brady. So good, just so good for those long-suffering Patriots fans. You know, they just can finally look forward to playoff football again. Number 1. Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 1. The owners of the NFL's best record got to enjoy their bye week at the perfect time. They should return from the break with their star duo of Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins back to full health. Arizona controls their destiny for the top seed in the AFC, but the schedule gets tough after their Week 13 tilt with the Bears. We'll see if Cliff Kingsbury's squad can hold on to the precious first-round bye with the Packers and Bucs breathing down their neck. But who do you think is the team to beat through 12 weeks of the season? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.